I felt like shit in the race. I felt like a piece of shit, and I just got left on the tarmac while the other guys took off. I was just in waiting position. I couldn't push anything, and my heart rate was through the roof. Yeah, so it was just horrible. Yeah, so starting from the beginning, we came there, wrecked the bike, and everything was just, with these PTO races, it's freaking easy. Like we just have to. There's no long check-in lines or anything. Like if it's only the pros, and it's a cool atmosphere. It's easy to wreck the bikes. We have the athletes lounge. It is as it should be in a professional sport, so that's awesome. Got down to the swim start and I felt good in the water. At the warm up, I felt like I was ready to push, and then it was just about keeping as cool as possible until race start, which is a bit weird because normally you want to be warm, but just try to cool myself down with like cold water and all kinds of stuff. And then I know the work I've done, especially in the swim in Australia. That's the only thing that actually worked for me. The fact that I had a group to train with, and that it was just like no bullshit training. With JR, there was like, it is kind of a dream to train with people who, like, I really admire the squad there. They are a solid bunch of guys and girls, and like we do 7-8 Ks every day, and it's a lot, but it's awesome. I love it. So I knew that was kind of in the bank, and I felt good doing the swim. Like I felt in control, and it was good.
What happened the first lap? What did you think when you came out of the Aussie exit and saw the size and stuff?
I didn't think a lot to be like, because it's strange how it's like it's a pretty big, like it was a big group, but it would be so easy for smaller gaps to appear. So that's what you always have to like realize, and also it's just difficult in a race like this because the water temperature is like through the roof, so you don't want to overheat in the swim already, and like there's just a lot of stuff that's kind of difficult to navigate through, so you just have to keep going basically and swim as straight as possible, and also as efficient and as hard as possible. And that was something I think I did very good for once. My problem was my heart rate just went through the roof when I stood up, and like my head almost exploded. Like that was the toughest part. Tried to cool down and got through transition, kind of a bit of a mess because I didn't want to leave anything outside of the box, and we were handed some ice bags we could cool down, and I lost it out of transition, and obviously I had to put the bike aside to fix that stuff, and that was just messy. And then obviously the group up front worked well together, I guess, and just kept the gap, and I just couldn't stay there. And then I was just bleeding time. I just got left on the tarmac while the other guys took off. I was just in waiting position. I couldn't push anything, and My heart rate was through the roof. Yeah, so it was just horrible. And I tried to like keep as positive a mindset as possible, which is nearly impossible in a scenario where you're getting kicked in the face and stomped in the chest and I don't know, grabbed by the balls at the same time, like. And then I tried to kind of, you know, I thought like, okay, I'm 3.5 minutes back. I can still, like, a lot of the guys might blow up, and I'll just keep going. Got into T2, and I felt like my back was stiff, not in a good way. It's never in a good way, but normally it's like, then I can run for like 2K and it's all loose and I can kind of continue. But here it was a bit worse, and I started to feel like pain. The back just kept being locked, and I started to feel some pain in my foot as well, and it was like my legs started to kind of disappear underneath me, which is probably not a good sign. And I just remember Josh Amberger running past me and saying like one step in front of the other, and that became kind of a mantra for the next 2Ks. And to be honest, I decided already on the first lap, like, this is not sustainable. But then, for some weird reason, I kept running one more lap, and it was just stupid, to be honest, because it just started to hurt more in the foot, and my hips. I just had like cramps in my stomach and in my back, and it was horrible.
You came into transition, like the course runs through transition, and like you did the loop and you came back out to start your final lap, and then you like kind of stopped and were hesitant and then started going again and then stopped. What was going through your head in that, like, those final seconds?
I think it's a fucking whack to DNF, so that was why I wanted to like respect the race and respect my competitors, but at the same time it was like every step I took, it felt like it just got worse. Like it didn't get any better, and it didn't disappear. So I was also like, I'm not gonna risk a stress fracture or whatever kind of stress on the bones or on the body unnecessarily that could risk the rest of the season. And that was why I decided to call it, and I think that was probably the only good decision I made yesterday. But it's fucking tough to feel like a piece of shit. I hate it. It hurts. So shit happens. Like that's how it is. It's tough to kind of dig that or get a good solid run when you've spent 3 hours feeling like shit.
What's the plan now to like bounce back, or what's been going through your head the last 12, 14 hours?
I'm on the start list for 70.3 Cebu, and I'm gonna go to the Philippines no matter what. And then we're gonna see how the foot will handle and also the back. Start to do some light training if possible, get a lot of treatment. I got a scan today that there's no fracture in the foot, so that's good, like good news. And then we'll see if I can run, then I'll race. I would love to get a slot for the 7.3 Worlds, and I think that's the majority. And then afterwards, I think I'll need just I'll go have a week of vacation and just figure out what the fuck is gonna happen.
Yeah.
I think one massive thing I need is just a lot of time of like a couple of months of just training and not doing anything else than just be home in St. Moritz and train.
Yeah.
Because that's just what I need, both physically and mentally, to get stuck into it and just, yeah. It's not been perfect. I know it's never perfect, but it's not been perfect in the lead up to this, where it's been difficult to know or understand the signals my body have kind of given me, and I just haven't been good enough in like navigating through that stuff. Where I just have to be better is like when it then does not happen, how to stick as close to the imagined plan as possible. Because I was not good enough at doing that here. That was where I kind of, things just fell apart kind of. And that's, first of all, there's no room for that in a field like this. And second of all, it's just something you have to be able to like do. That's part of why I really respect the way Sam Long he raced, because it's like he was so far behind on the swim and just rode through and had a solid run. It's impressive how he can do that a week after doing Oceanside, where he basically did the same. So that's really impressive.
I mean, to finish it off, like, obviously not the results you wanted, and yeah, not the feelings you wanted, but still, like, are you able to take stuff away from it still, or do you just kind of put it behind you and try to find like a new strategy? Or
nah, because I think obviously we are in the process of something, but I wouldn't like just change things up completely, because I know there's a lot of stuff that actually works. I think where I've gone, or where we've maybe focused on trying to find something that was just a bit too difficult to, or maybe it was the wrong time to actually focus on those things in training, and that's just haven't paid off the way we hoped for, and that happens sometimes, and that's where you learn. So we can go back and see like what did we do well in like 2021, for example, because I felt like that was when I was the strongest off bike. The runs I had there was pretty good, and where do we find like the bike strengths I've had before, and also work on that additionally again. And that was what I evaluated yesterday with my coach, like after the race, on how can we come back to that place where like pick up some stuff we've learned along the way of, for example, swimming. I have like tried some different stuff now where I know I do know pretty well on what works and how to kind of plan that. Also running, what works, and it's all long term. So the bike is where it's a bit difficult sometimes, but I think we are getting there in understanding how to make me perform the best. Yeah, basically it's just back. Training works. That's how it always is, and I just haven't had that kind of stability in training that I need. I think I need a lot of volume, and I need a lot of like base to actually perform well, and that's where we've focused more on some other stuff that I maybe just wasn't prepared for. So it's just about like ask yourself the right questions, and then you get the answers. Like, we know what works. We also still want to get better, and that's why we're testing stuff out. And it's not that it wasn't, like, I've still improved on the bike, especially. It's just not come together yet, and that's just something we need to keep pushing and keep working. And you know, it's just I basically just need a long time of like consistent training, because I know that works. Yeah, it's back to the drawing board. Like we just have to lay out a long-term plan, or we had laid out a long-term plan. We just have to tweak it a little bit, and then we'll hopefully get better along the way.
Yeah.
That's all for this one. I'll catch you later. Ciao.